I can't be the only home baker out there that bakes far more sourdough discard recipes than I do actual loaves of sourdough. I tell myself while I'm cooking these discard recipes that I'm not wasting the sourdough starter, which is true, but the reality of the situation is I'm avoiding making another loaf of sourdough because my last 8 loaves haven't been exactly the way that I want them to be. The sore loser in the back of my mind is screaming, well, nope, since we ain't gonna win, we ain't gonna play, so here I am making another discard recipe of bagels because, you know what? I've been happy with how they've been turning out, so I'm gonna do it again. So I weighed out 100 grams of sourdough starter, 250 grams of warm water. I threw in a pinch of instant yeast just to give the floof the spurs it needs to get going. 30 grams of sugar, let that bloom, then weigh out 500 grams of bread flour. I've used all-purpose flour 3 times that I've made this recipe, and they've turned out just fine. So if you don't got bread flour, don't worry about it. Oh, and that's 10 grams of salt. Bring it over to the mixer with the dough hook. Just incorporate the ingredients and let the dough sit for 10 to 15 minutes. And then turn the mixer back on and knead it for 10 minutes. Transfer it to an oiled bowl and let it double in size. My house is around 60 degrees, so it took about 6 hours for it to double in size. Make a log to portion out. 6 portions from this recipe gives you bagels that are about the size that you get from the deli. If you don't have a bench scraper, you can just tear this dough into the portions that you want. I weigh mine individually so I can get the sizes pretty darn consistent. It doesn't bother me if there's a 5-gram weight difference with my own bagels. After they're rolled out, let them chill. Letting the gluten relax for 10 to 20 minutes before shaping them into bagels will save you a lot of headache of having to stretch them back out because they've puckered up on themselves. You can shape bagels using the thumb stabby technique like I did with this one, but I felt confident and decided that I want to try rolling them out like the real bagel makers do. So this is my first attempt at trying to roll them out, and turned out way easier than I thought it would be. You don't need to roll them over themselves as many times as I did there. You can feel it deflate in your hands, and you do want to avoid applying too much pressure when rolling the 2 ends together. You can see how asymmetrical these bagels are, and it will not get any better. It will only get worse as they continue to rise. But that's just me nitpicking my own technique because I'm incapable of giving myself any praise. Slop those sphincters into some boiling water with some honey in it. Boil each side for 1 minute. Add whatever toppings you want. Bake at 425 for 20 minutes or till brown.